Welcome to UAPB Currents. I'm your host, Shelley Roby Ingram, and today we're joined by Miss Cheryl Collins, who is the Director of Theater here at the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff and a friend of UAPB TV.
Yes.
And we're glad to have you back with us again.
I'm always thrilled to come see you, Shelley.
Yeah, we always have a good time when you guys come over. So to get started, let's talk about, you guys have already been busy this year. You've already been busy. So let's talk a little bit about a couple of the performances that you guys have already had. You finished a one-woman show. Congratulations on that.
Yes, thank you so much.
And had a couple of other wonderful performances so far this year. So first tell us about the play that we've already had and how that went once on this highway.
Well, we entered the Kennedy Center competition for the American Theater Festival. And we do that every year. And this year we did it with our production of Joe Turner's Come and Go.
Right, yes.
So we did a one night only, just for the judges to come in and look at the play. And from that show, we had 3 actors nominated for the very prestigious Irene acting competition.
Okay.
And so at the end of this month, we'll be traveling to Shreveport, Louisiana, so that they can compete. Last year we competed, and our senior, Desiree Lucas, made it to the semifinal round, which is really impressive when you consider that it's 8 states participating and hundreds of students from colleges all over those 8 states. So for her to get past hundreds to the semifinals was really great. And we're hoping to do as well or better this year with the 3 students we have nominated now.
Okay. All right, and so tell us about this one-woman show that you were a part of, because I don't know if we got a lot of chance to talk about it much when you were here last time.
I did a show based on the life of the aviator Bessie Coleman, and many people do not know that Bessie Coleman was amazing. She flew 4 years before Amelia Earhart. And you know we hear about Amelia Earhart all the time.
Right.
But she flew before her. And with her being the daughter of sharecroppers and having to work her way up into a world of really very, very rich people could only afford to fly.
Right.
And when she wanted to fly, she went to several flying schools, and nobody would teach her because she was black. So she ended up having to go to France.
Okay.
So not only was she the first black woman to fly, she was the first black woman with an international aviator's license.
Okay.
And she was a barnstormer here in the States. She went all over the place, and she really wanted to use her ability to fly to impress upon everyone that black people were as good as anybody else. And she spoke on that all the time. And she tried to impress our young people to get their education and to never take no for an answer, because she didn't.
Right.
Here she was, the daughter of sharecroppers, and she ended up saving all of her little manicurist money and getting sponsors and going to France and learning to fly and learning how to do all those tricks, spinning the planes around and what have you, buying used planes left over from World War I. And I don't know if you've seen those pictures of the biplanes, they were basically a lawnmower and some wings, a lawnmower motor.
Right.
I mean, it was really dangerous.
Yeah.
And she did end up dying in a crash.
Oh, okay.
But I just really wanted to get her story out because I love her tenacity. I love the way she never said no. No, she never took no for an answer. I love the way that she always strived for excellence. And then there she was in the rarefied air of being the only black woman in the world flying around.
Okay. All right. Now, what was it that drove you to do this show?
Well, one of the things I wanted to do was appear in this year's National Black Theater Festival.
Okay.
So we had the show videotaped or filmed, and we sent a copy of it. Just this week, I got it off to the National Black Theater Festival, and they will consider it. And my hope is that they will invite me to perform it at the festival. You know, in a university setting as this, being published is the way that you establish yourself as a professor. Right. Well, I'm not a publishing person. I'm a performing person. So I did write the script. Yes. And I performed the script, and if I get to perform it at the festival, it'll be a way of saying, hey, I published
That was
something.
your publishing.
That was my publishing. So I'm excited about that.
Okay, and now how difficult was it for you preparing for your show and managing all the shows that the theater department has this year, as well as the competitions that you all will be participating in?
Well, of course, my show suffered because I was trying to make sure that our competition show was ready. I was trying to make sure our musical was ready. Yeah. And
which was awesome.
Thank you. And then our my one-woman show, which was in the first week of December, I kind of scrambled at the last minute trying to make sure that was ready. Right. So it wasn't as polished as I would have liked it to be because I had so many other things to do, and I really couldn't concentrate on it until after our show closed, which was the week before Thanksgiving. Right. And then we have Thanksgiving, and then I came back and did my show. Yeah. So I just had to make sure that I was ready acting-wise to tell the story, that I could memorize it, because it was a 1-hour show of nobody but me talking. Right. So I had to really do a lot of memorization for it as well as get her character together, because she was pretty feisty.
No, I think you probably managed that just fine. I didn't see it, but I'm sure you probably took care of that one just fine. Now I know a couple of the performances, the first performance that you all did this year, as well as the Gingerbread Man, I think, which we're going to talk about a little later, were musicals this year. Yes.
Yes.
And
this is the year of the musical.
This is your first season doing musicals on campus.
We did, the second year I was here, I believe, we did Gospel at Colonus.
Oh, yeah.
Which is kind of a musical, but it's more of like a pageant, if that makes sense, a pageant with music. Okay. But this was our first full-on musical with choreography and all the story and the the acting, the dancing, the singing, everything. Having to work with a musical director, Miss Melissa from she's the newest person in our music department. She was wonderful, and our choreographers were student choreographers. The star of the show, Smil Palm, and one of the gods. He played the Papa Gay, who was a sly demon of death. Yeah. Clarence Stokes, they choreographed the show. So it was wonderful having students that are so great at dance that they could choreograph the show, and it looked wonderful, and I was really excited about it, and I think we pulled it off.
You did.
And we had some good audiences that really responded well to the show, so we're excited about it.
Okay, all right. And like I said, we'll talk a little bit about Gingerbread Man later. We're going to go to break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about all the competitions and things the students are doing, and we'll talk about that in the next segment. Okay? All right. Okay, and we'll be right back on UAPB Currents.
That's low, that's low.
The average text takes your eyes off the road for nearly 5 seconds. Stop the texts. Stop the wrecks. Visit us at stoptextstoprex.org.
Welcome back to UAPB Currents, and again we're joined by Ms. Cheryl Collins, who is the Director of Theater here at the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff. And we had to, rein ourselves in and remember that during the commercial break we still have a show to do. Can't get all the talking done during commercial break.
That's
we still have lots to talk about. And so this segment, I wanted the opportunity give you the opportunity to talk about the students and the things that they have coming up. And I know you guys are preparing now to get ready to leave soon and go.
We have a really unique opportunity this year in that last year we competed in the National Association of Dramatic and Speech Arts. I'll call it NATSA.
Okay.
The NATSA competition, it's with HBCUs.
Okay.
So we competed with HBCUs from all over the country. And the show that we entered, Do Lord Remember Me, which deals with slave narratives, came in first place.
Yeah.
And not only did we pick up the first place, but the host organization that hosted the event, it's called the Black Academy of Arts and Letters in Dallas, Texas, saw the show, and they invited us to be a part of their season this year for Black History Month. Okay. So next weekend, well, I don't know when the show is airing, so, but we're going to be traveling soon to Dallas, and we are going to do a weekend of shows that have already sold out.
Oh, wow.
Yes, in Dallas, and this is kind of an extra thing. Yeah. They are going to be contributing a little bit of money to our department.
Yay.
Yay, because we have a lot to do and we need a lot of money. Yeah. So we're going to make a little bit of money by traveling there. Awesome. and putting on our show again for the community that supports that organization in Dallas. And so my students feel like professional paid actors.
Oh, yeah, they should.
And they are very excited, and their parents are coming in from all over the country so that they can see the show as well. It's just really unique and wonderful. They've never invited a show that won at NATSA to come and perform during their year. Okay. So it's a big deal for us.
All right. And now what show will you guys be performing?
We'll be performing Do Lord Remember Me by James DeJohn. It's set in the 1930s, but all the characters in it are in their 80s and 90s. Right. So it's a really good acting stretch for our students to play older adults, very aged people. And they are reminiscing, because they're the last living Americans, to be able to tell you what slavery was like firsthand. Right. And it's a part of FDR's WPA, his Work Progress Administration. These writers were sent out across the country, and they collected interviews, and these are some of the interviews. So every word spoken in the play was actually said. And everything that happens in the play actually happened in real life. So that's the power of it as well.
Right. Yeah. Now, most of the students, I'm assuming, who are a part of Do Lord Remember Me are regular students in your department, and they're also working with these other plays that are coming up for the year.
Yes.
Now, how difficult is it for them to go back to a play from last season and remember their parts and their characters from that while they're still working on, and that was kind of such a serious piece. And this year they're working on right now, preparing and getting ready for something like the Gingerbread Man. It's such a stretch for
it is different. What's interesting is we did that twice this year. We did it with Joe Turner's Come and Gone as well, because Joe Turner's Come and Gone was our spring play last year, and we made it our competition play this fall. Right. What I find unique about it is that it gets better because the students have lived with those characters for so long, and they know them so well. Right. And it's like putting on a really good fitting pair of jeans or something like that, something that's a part of you, you know what I mean? And so they know the characters even better. It does take a minute for them to get their lines back together, but they remember, their body remembers, their cells remember, everything remembers, so they go deeper with it, and it gets even better to me.
Okay. All right, well, good. All right, now I know you all have the other competition that's coming up, the Irene Ryan. Yes. Who, I love, tell everybody who Irene Ryan is again, because, it just, the first time you told me that, I was like, what?
Right. Well, first of all, I need to just say, I'm the hardest working woman on this campus. Because I'm also trying to get 3 sets of actors prepared for the Irene Ryan competition. Irene Ryan played Granny on the Beverly Hillbillies. Right. But she was a fantastic Broadway actress before she did the Beverly Hillbillies. And she was so good as Granny that's all we remembered her for. Yeah. We're like, Granny on the Beverly Hillbillies? Yeah. She was great. And she did not want to be just remembered for that.
Right.
So she established a scholarship in her name, and it continues on after her passing. We continue to honor her with the Irene Ryans. The Kennedy Center American Theater Festival took the scholarship over, and it has student actors from all over the country competing for her scholarship. Okay. And it's really wonderful to be nominated. As they say, is really an honor, because it means that you are one of the best student actors in the country when you're nominated. And then when you go and compete, if you make it past the first preliminary rounds to the semifinals and the finals, as our student Desiree Lucas did last year, it really means you're fantastic. You are breathing rarefied air because you're one of the best of the best. Yeah. And so we are taking 3 students this year. They were nominated from Joe Turner's Come and Gone. Okay. And they are Samil Palm, who is a junior, and a senior by the name of Tawana Frazier, who's a psychology major, who actually just loves to come over and do plays with us and got nominated, and another theater major, Clarence Stokes. They were all nominated for their roles, the roles that they played in Joe Turner's Come and Gone. So right now, on top of rehearsing Do Lord Remember Me and The Gingerbread Man, I'm also rehearsing them and their partners, because they have to do 2 scenes, a scene for the first round, a scene with a partner for the second round, and then a monologue if they make it to the final round. Okay. And they each actor has to have 3 things ready to compete with. So I am rehearsing them on both scenes and their monologues. So I am working with them, and I am working with Do Lord Remember Me, and we're getting Gingerbread Man ready at the same time.
All right. Wow.
And I teach too.
It's awesome, and I think that it's just a testament to a lot of people see actors on TV or in the theater, and they just think that, oh, that's just a job where they just get to have fun. They just get to go up there and just be another person, and they don't realize all of the hard work that goes into that.
There's really a lot of hard work. You have to prepare your body. Your body has to be prepared for any of the demands that the stage will make on you. Your voice has to be worked. My students do not use microphones. Right. Even in the musical, we didn't use microphones. And so your voice has to be strong enough to fill a theater, so that's a lot of work. You have to memorize a book every time you're in a play, because you can't just memorize your lines. Right. You have to memorize everybody's lines so you know where you fit in. Right. So you have to memorize a book, and you have to also be studious enough to pass all of your other classes. I like for my students, I tell them I want them to be theater scholars, to be great in the classroom as well as on the stage, because they commit a lot of their extracurricular time, a lot of their free time to rehearsal. And so they have to be ready.
Okay. All right, we're going to go to break, and we'll be right back to talk about the Gingerbread Man on UAPB Current.
So you can't save money? That's easy as pie. Brown bagging lunch instead of going out. $6 save times 5 days a week times 10 years is $21,000. That's a lot of lettuce. Small changes today, big bucks tomorrow. Feedthepig.org.
Welcome back to UAPB Currents, and again, we're joined by Cheryl Collins, who is the Director of Theater here at the University of Arkansas at Pine Bluff, actor, teacher, director,
bottle washer,
set designer, choreographer,
costume maker,
music instructor, all of that. But so excited, I wanted you guys to come back, and I know you're going to come back in the later on and talk about your last performance for the year, but I wanted you to come and get everybody pumped and ready for the Gingerbread Man, which I know I have a little group that I bring to every year, and it's just, I love the fact that the theater started again here at UAPB because it's great exposing them to it, and it's something they look forward to as soon as we leave. As soon as we leave
That's
the performance in February.
When are we coming back?
They're like, and I tell them, you know, we always come in February, and they say at 3 o'clock, and I say, yeah, that's our performance time. We'll be there February 17th at 3 p.m. Look, we're ready.
You're ready.
We're ready
excited.
for it.
It's
For
good
the
to know.
Gingerbread Man. So tell us about the Gingerbread Man, because it's not just that basic story of the Gingerbread.
It's not. First, I want to say that ever since I've been here, every February we have committed to do children's theater. And there's a lot of reasons for that. One, it's a place for our freshmen and sophomores to get their feet wet in the theater by doing children's theater.
Okay.
Number two, I wanted to have something to offer our students in the Pine Bluff metropolitan area. To have a field trip that they can look forward to every year, to bring them on campus, get them used to being on a university campus. You know, maybe they all come here when they get older. Also, just to expose them to live theater. I don't know about you, but I remember the first live theater thing I ever saw when I was in the 6th grade. It was Hansel and Gretel, and I believe it was in German, and I didn't understand a word of it.
But it was
I was mesmerized by the live audience, that energy exchange between the audience and what's going on stage, and it was just so powerful to me, and it stuck with me all these years. And I wanted to do that for our students. I want our students to see people like them that look like them on stage doing theater, so they can see that that's not out of reach for them. And I like to also tell some of our stories. I'm sorry about that. That's my phone.
That's fine.
Okay.
It's background music.
It'll go off in a second. But anyway, so I wanted them to see us telling our stories. Now, Gingerbread Man isn't necessarily an African-American story, but it is a really good story. This one was a British play, and it has also been turned into a musical. And we have taken that British play and kind of, what do I want to say, jazzed it up a little bit, kind of Americanized it a little bit. And so it's not as quiet as it once was. It's a little bit more fun, but it sticks, at the same time, it sticks to the general theme of Gingerbread Man. It sticks to the story. So, but basically, the lines that we're used to hearing, like, run, fat, you can't catch me. Yeah, I'm the Gingerbread Man, and you can't eat me. What does he say? I'm not beaten till I'm eaten, and I'm not going to be eaten, or something like that. But anyway, it features the folk that live on the counter of our kitchen. So it takes place on the countertop. And the Gingerbread Man is laying there. He's just been freshly baked that day. And the other characters are the cuckoo from the cuckoo clock that's on the counter. And salt and pepper are on the counter. And also there on the upper shelf of the counter, there is a tea bag, an old tea bag. We call her the old bag. And there is also behind, in a little hole behind the plate that's up on the counter, a mouse, Sleek the mouse. And so he's our person that wants to eat Gingerbread Man. And so the whole play is about trying to keep him alive, and also trying to help Herr von Cuckoo, who is the cuckoo that lives in the cuckoo clock, because he's lost his voice. He has the Tod in the throat, and so he doesn't know enough to say frog in the throat, so he says toad. And so the plot is generated around trying to help him get his voice back so that he can cuckoo and not be thrown in the trash, because you know us, whenever something's broken, we throw it in the trash. And trying to make sure that Gingerbread Man doesn't get eaten. And the old bag, who lives up, as I say, in a teapot on the top shelf, is kind of also starts out as a mean character, but she's really just lonely. And as soon as she gets some friends, she's fine. But it'll be a lot of fun. I can hear the kids squealing now, jumping and singing and responding when they're talked to and all that sort of thing, because all of our shows are kind of an audience participation show as well.
Yeah. Now, how difficult was it for the costuming of those shows?
I have a costume class right now.
Okay.
I have about 6 or 7 students in it, and we are today going out to the Goodwills, and we're going to Goodwill and Salvation Army today to see what we can find in the thrift stores. We raided our own costume shop that we have developed over the years, and we found quite a few pieces that we could use in the show. Okay. So we're going to look at the thrift stores, and whatever we don't find in the thrift stores, we have to look at making. Right. So I talk to my students about pulling costumes or building costumes. So there will be some things we'll have to build from the ground up. Ervan Cuckoo has to look like a Swiss cuckoo.
That was the one that I was thinking about. I'm like, okay, they're going to make a cuckoo bird.
And we have made Sleek the Mouse a 80s style rap guy.
Okay.
Gangster rap guy. So he's going to have on the chains and the Kango and the jersey or something like that. Yeah. Okay. So he's going to look like a rap guy. And our Pepper is going to be our hot Latina. Okay. And then Salt is the old salt of the sea. He's like an old British sailor. So we're building these costumes. Our tea bag is going to be a really creative costume because she's going to look like a tea bag.
Yeah, that's going to be a good one. Okay. All right. Now, before we go, tell everybody how they can find out more information about the performances that the theater department has and how they can get tickets to come see the Gingerbread Man.
Well, we actually start matinees for students on February the 11th. Okay. And that's a Monday. So students, schools from all over the area will start coming. They'll come all week at 10 a.m. Every day of the week that week. For people that are interested in some of the other performances, if you're not coming with your school, we have performances Thursday, Friday, and Saturday night, with Thursday being our student night. Okay. I don't recommend student night for the outsider if you're not a student, because the students are excited. Yes. And you don't get to hear a lot of the show if you come on Thursday night. Okay. But we love the energy that they bring. So the students will come on Thursday night for free if they have their student ID and they arrive on time, because I charge you if you get there late. Okay. And then Friday and Saturday night at 7:30, you can also come. And then on Saturday afternoon, we have matinees on Saturday and Sunday at 3, like you already said.
Yes.
Your church
Sunday
group
at
is
3.
coming at
Yes,
Sunday
we'll
at 3.
Be there
So
Sunday at 3.
Sunday and Saturday at 3.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for coming and joining us again. And we wish you all an awesome performance with the Gingerbread Man. And we'll see you when you prepare for your next performance.
Thank you for inviting me all the time. Thank you.
Okay. And we will see you next time on UAPB Current.